Or they try to.
Okay, welcome back to the Pittsburgh Business Virgin. We are here with CJ Patrick of Quest Fore, President and Chief Technical Officer. Now, CJ, we talked in the first segment a little bit about how you started your own company, but then you also had the opportunity to come into an established company. What were some of what would you highly recommend that somebody do or highly recommend that somebody stays away from, both when starting a company and when creating that new relationship?
I think one of the biggest things is finding your niche, finding what you're really good at, and not trying to be the end all be all for everybody. And you know, in my case, I was good at web development. I knew people needed web development services. Where I was surprised a bit was who my end client ended up being. I envisioned myself going to the local restaurant and building a website for them. That was really how I envisioned growing my business. But what ended up happening was the marketing firms in town were going to those restaurants and selling them on a website with some other marketing services. And what they were doing is designing the site and then handing it over to me to actually implement. And so I had relationships throughout town with some of the marketing firms, and really found a nice niche for myself in supplying really solid web development, but they were doing the majority of the sales for me.
How have you guys dealt with some, it's kind of expertise creep, I guess is the best way to put it, because what I've noticed is a lot of the printers, not the large, big ones, but some of the smaller, medium size, the printing business is a dying business, and they've tried to reinvent themselves quite a bit. And I think one of the ways that they've done it is to market themselves as a marketing firm. I was smoking a cigar yesterday in a cigar shop and ended up striking up a conversation. Sure enough, printing company, but he wasn't talking to me about printing. He was talking to me about marketing, swag, and who's doing my marketing and blah blah blah. So how do you deal with that?
Well, there's always constantly emerging threats in our market. When you're in a market that spans so many different areas, from video production to design to interactive to content creation to strategic marketing, you end up with a lot of competitors. You end up in a lot of different verticals that people are trying to get into, and I think one of the primary areas of focus that we have is providing a full set of services to our clients. So they don't see us as the designer. They don't see us as the marketing company. They don't see us as the video production. They see us as, hey, we have this challenge. Let's go to Quest Fore and talk to them about it, because they're going to have a solution.
And when you're engaging a client, can they work with you sort of in a piecemeal way, or is it, because I think sometimes, and this is one of the challenges that we have even with our business model, is, we can really, for our business owners, replace their investment advisor, their benefits advisor, their group insurance advisor. We can replace, in essence, 3 people. And sometimes they're looking for one particular need, but, do they feel as though if they're not willing to give up the reins on all of it, they can't engage you?
We're small enough. We're a small enough group that we have no problem taking on if somebody just needs a brochure designed. We can design a brochure for them. Now, what we hope is, we make no secret about it, is we're going to provide such great service that they're going to start considering replacing those other elements.
And that's always been my hope when. And as I work with the guys that work here is get your foot in the door with whatever their need is now, and then eventually through expertise and professionalism and service that you'll slowly whittle down, and you'll get the rest of the business as time goes on.
Absolutely.
Advice? Any big surprises that you can think of? Any I guess one question I had was there any downside to becoming part of a bigger company?
No, it really, becoming part of a bigger company really got rid of one of the major hurdles of starting your own company, which is, one, people don't know your name.
Yeah.
Two, they look at you as a 2-3 person shop. Okay, what happens to me if something happens to you, or if you go out of business? And it's a challenging question to answer, because there really isn't a valid answer to say, everything will be safe, because
Yeah.
you're no longer in business and they've
Yeah.
got to go find someone else. And so providing a more stable environment for them definitely took away that challenge. I would say.
But sometimes there's egos. Here you are, king of your castle. Now you're. I don't want to say you're not the king of castle. Right. I don't want to say you're just one of the other, one of the frontline troops either. But there's certain control that you had to give up.
Yeah, absolutely. And part of finding an effective partner is finding somebody who you can work with. And it's about defining roles and knowing who is responsible for what, and knowing that you need to find a way to work together for the best interest of the company.
And that's got to be done up front.
Right, absolutely.
Because I've seen it too many times. People go, "Hey, let's get this going," and then we'll work on it on the back end, and
that doesn't work very well.
That doesn't work very well. All right, we're going to come back with CJ Patrick, president of Quest Fore. You can check him out at www.questfore.com. Great guy. Got definitely an interesting story and expertise around marketing. We're going to come back in our next segment and discuss the growth of your company and how you should be doing marketing, both as a small startup, but also as you mature to get you to the next level. Come on back.